Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Sven Sundgaard here. I am in Terre Haute, Indiana, in the path of totality. The eclipse has begun here just about 16 minutes ago. So, looking up right now, and I can see the sliver. Oh, what do we got? Fraction of the sun is covered. Nice little crescent shape. And so, over the course of the next hour, exactly 1 hour from now, we will reach totality here in Terre Haute. For 3 minutes, the sun will be completely obscured by the moon. You're looking at Mazatlan right now, which looks like it's just about getting to totality there. So, pretty cool. That's where it's starting first in terms of land in North America. And then we'll sweep across North America all the way to Newfoundland by mid afternoon. So the eclipse shadow moves at 1,500 miles per hour. 13 states will be seeing at least a slice of totality. And of course, in Minnesota, it's going to be a partial eclipse that will be mostly obscured by cloud cover, unfortunately. 74% of the sun will be covered by the moon, though, in the Twin Cities. And there are some breaks in the clouds developing across southern Minnesota. So fingers crossed, because all you need is one break during that peak time or any time in the couple of hours that the eclipse is happening, one way or another, to take a look. If you have the glasses, definitely do not look at the sun without eyewear protection. Um, we can look at it here in totality just for the couple of minutes that we have the sun totally covered. So that's a little fun fact. Most of the time you need these on, but during totality you can actually look at it. We'll see the atmosphere of the sun called the corona around the moon. So it'll be pretty cool. And maybe even if we're lucky, we'll see a CME, a coronal mass ejection, which is plasma being shot out off the surface of the sun, which leads to our northern lights. You can't see that with the naked eye normally, but it's possible during a total solar eclipse. And what's different about this one in 2024 versus 2017, we're in a solar maximum. The sun is at peak activity, whereas 7 years ago, we were at a minimum. So you weren't going to see as many of the possible vibrant displays that the sun could deliver us. And of course, you probably heard too, there's the Devil's Comet will be visible between Jupiter and the sun during totality. That's not something you can see in Minnesota, even if you have clear breaks. But here in the path of totality, it is something. We do have some high cirrus clouds right now. I'll kind of turn this around. You can see what our sky looks like. The sun's not going to look like much of anything to you, I'm afraid, um, because it's so bright. And this is just my regular MacBook. That's why we're showing you the NASA feed. But I am actually capturing some decent images on my iPhone. You can see a little sliver of the sun is covered. But these wispy cirrus clouds overhead right now are actually moving on. So we're hoping that the skies will get more clear. It won't really affect the eclipse, but some of the detail that we could see, such as the Bailey's beads, the little beads of light that go through the valleys of the moon during just before totality, those some of those details might be obscured if we have some of this high cirrus cloud filtering out, but it's those dreary low clouds that we don't want that we have across most of Minnesota. And you can see, we're looking at satellite imagery right now. Yeah, the shadow reaching the southwest. Pretty cool. So yeah, Mazatlan we were just talking about is reaching very close to totality, and then that will swing up straight northeast, pretty much across Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, here through northern Ohio. And then over the Great Lakes, which is completely cloudy, unfortunately. But this is the problem trying to plan these things out. Maine is going to have the best weather probably of anywhere, but statistically should be the cloudiest at this time of year. Texas, climatologically, should be your better bet for sunshine, but you just don't know. Early spring, anywhere east of the Rockies, the weather can be kind of garbage, frankly. So that's why a lot of people like me are eclipse chasing, where we're not chasing the eclipse so much, we're chasing the weather in the path of totality. So about a week ago, we started looking in detail, and it looked increasingly good that Illinois, Missouri, Indiana would be the place to go, other than Maine. But I didn't want to drive all the way to Maine, and the airlines are taking full advantage of people who are trying to fly into the path of totality, as well as hotel rooms, I should add. $500 a night for very basic hotels and motels here in Terre Haute, which you can imagine that's much more than they probably normally would be. But hey, got to make a buck off this somehow. And glasses, there's people trying to sell the glasses at a premium here if you didn't think ahead. We did, luckily. But yeah, there are a lot of people here at Fairbanks Park on the banks of the Wabash checking it out. Maybe I'll kind of give you a little panorama. You can see people got their chairs set up. It's tailgating. We know the Vikings are, mixed in terms of how good they are. This is a guaranteed performance, at least. Got the police here protecting everybody. Pretty cool. But there's a food truck even. See, we bought sandwiches ahead of time. Didn't know, but There you go. Pretty cool. And the river is very high. We got trees underwater. There were a lot of flooded fields on the way here going through Illinois and Indiana yesterday. And of course, post eclipse, not looking forward to the potential traffic jams. We're going to be headed north towards Chicago, which is probably a nightmare on any day. But there are a lot of signs were lit up saying, beware of slow going after the eclipse. Hoping I can get ahead of it because as soon as Totality is done, we're going to try to book it. But we're going to come back on at 1:50, about 14 minutes before Totality here in Terre Haute, and then stay on until 2:20. Meanwhile, the stream is going to stay here. You're going to see NASA, satellite imagery, other things. But I'm going to take a break so I don't completely melt down my computer here. We want to make sure everything is fully charged and ready pre-Totality. So again, we'll come on at 1:50 Central Time. That'll be 2:50 for me here in Terre Haute. We're on Eastern Time Zone. And again, 2:04 to 2:07 Central Time is when we will reach Totality here. Look at that, Mazatlan, how cool that is. This is my first total eclipse. I've seen an annular one in Bluff, Utah in the fall, and I have a friend who's an astronomer at NASA. She said, you have to see a total eclipse. It is life-changing. We'll see. We'll see what it changes for life. But I'm going to hop off for now, and we'll see you again. Again, stay here and watch the feed. We've got the NASA feed showing you the eclipse as it happens, everywhere it happens, and then we'll show you a live view here from Terre Haute again in a little bit. Okay. Hey guys. Yeah, a little bit of a delay here. Sorry. Back on from Terre Haute, Indiana, where we're about 90% of the sun is covered right now. We are just about 12 minutes from totality here in Terre Haute. It has definitely gotten noticeably dimmer. Uh, Sunlight seems like it's probably half or a quarter what it was over an hour ago. And importantly, the temperatures dropped. You can feel the difference. I'm going to check my computer here again because I was just looking at the Terre Haute Municipal Airport's reading. We had a high of 75.2 just as the eclipse was starting, and now we're down to 73.4. So yeah, about 2 whole degrees, and it's going to cool off more once we're in totality. Just even those 3 minutes. Totality here will be just about 3 minutes from 2:04 to 2:07 p.m. Central Time. That'll be 3:04 to 3:07 here. We're on Eastern Time in Indiana. But yeah, pretty cool. And you can see on the satellite imagery there the shadow of the eclipse. So yeah, this is visible satellite imagery. So literally pictures of space, and those areas that are dim, it looks dark on satellite, but you still have enough light to see. Certainly, it's more like, I would describe it right now as a little brighter than dawn or dusk, just a little bit. But it's incredible that even in just the last couple of minutes, it's noticeably dimmer than it was literally 2 minutes ago. The only way I can describe what it looks like at the moment is just a sliver of the sun. Yeah, maybe 5-10% of it is still showing. And the top crescent, yeah, crescent moon, just the upper left is still illuminated. The rest of it, so it's coming in from the lower right, the shadow of the moon for us. And yeah, it is looking dim. I don't know if you can notice the difference of what it looked like an hour ago or not, just from the stream, but we are going to experience a darkness here in just a few minutes. Last time, little fun fact, by the way, Terre Haute had a total solar eclipse was 819 years ago in the year 1205. And I don't know if it was cloudy or clear that day. So this specific spot has been a long time. I looked up the Twin Cities, had one in 1954. Again, I don't know what the weather was like for that one specifically. And northern Minnesota was in the path of totality in 1979. So Minnesota has fared a little bit better in more recent memory. Of course, 2017 was a partial eclipse, and it's going to be a partial eclipse in Minnesota again today. But there are some clear breaks in southern Minnesota. And as I mentioned, even from satellite imagery, we're seeing things dimmer. And actually, even though it's pretty cloudy and dreary in Minnesota, that might only help to amplify how dark it will look when the sun is obscured. 202, I believe, is the peak in the Twin Cities, and 74% of the sun will be obscured. But to give you a little perspective, the reason that the total eclipse is so much more profound to experience, as I mentioned, we've got probably, remember, don't look at it with just my sunglasses. I'm going to leave those alone so I don't even get into that habit. Last thing I need is to burn my retinas. Yeah, so I mean, right now with 5% of the sun, you can see we're still fully illuminated. So that's why totality is so important. I was at the annular eclipse, which is the Ring of Fire eclipse in Bluff, Utah in October, and that covered 97% of the sun. So a little dimmer than right now, but you still definitely had light. So totality is just a game-changing, totally different experience. And we're excited. I'm watching birds fly around there. I wonder if what they're thinking. They're still flying, they're still chirping, but supposedly people talk about that when you reach totality, nature just kind of stops. They're confused. They think it's night for 3 minutes. It's sort of a freaky, eerie silence. And you realize that we're just a little speck in the universe, in case you didn't already, in terms of time and space. Wabash River is flowing. It's high. Everybody's really just sort of fixated on the sun right now. We are in Fairbanks Park on the Wabash River here in Terre Haute. A lot of people out here, but there's still plenty of space. There's still plenty of parking spots. It's kind of funny. We were talking to people in town yesterday and asking if they were fired up about it, and people sort of were like trying to pretend they're too cool for it. A lot of them like, well, I might look at it. I'm like, really? You live here? Our server at the Texas Roadhouse last night said she's going to go fishing with her boyfriend today. Said, well, you're going to be outside. You're not going to look. Come on. Yeah, it's a big deal. Don't downplay it. So you're in the path of totality. They're calling it the total eclipse of the Haute. Get it? Because we're in Terre Haute, Indiana. So they're having some fun with it. There were some branded, let's see, do I have the branded sunglasses? Yeah, here they are. So you can see special total eclipse of the Haute glasses here in Terre Haute 2024. The next total solar eclipse won't be until August 23rd, 2044. And I don't know the exact path, but I know Minnesota is not in the path of totality. The next time Minnesota will see totality, and it will go through the Twin Cities, I think, is 2099. So I have my 7-year-old nephew with me. He will be 82 then. I think the rest of us are kind of out of luck. I'm going to actually go off camera for a second. We're going to set up another camera view with my iPhone so that we can kind of zoom in once we reach totality in 7 minutes only. 7 minutes to totality, because I can't quite do that with my MacBook camera. So stay with us here. We've got the NASA feed. You've got my feed too, but I'm actually going to step off for a little minute here and set things up.
We are 6 minutes to total.
Yeah, I know I'm
muted. I'm trying to figure out my camera, how I can turn it around on here. It won't actually turn the other way. It doesn't seem to give me the option to turn it around. All right, we're nearing totality. We'll just have to use my iPhone camera the way it is, I guess, and I'll turn it around. But it is definitely eerie dark. It's getting there. So weird.
Oh my god! The lights turned on a million.
There it goes. And it's almost gone.
Oh my gosh!
Take a picture.
And despite you seeing a ball of light from my iPhone, all we see is the corona. You can see the Bailey's beads, the sun's light going through the valleys of the moon, and the perfect ring of the sun's atmosphere around the moon. So it's not total night, but it is pretty dark. See the street lights on over there?
A comet over there. Oh yeah.
Comet. Everyone's saying they see the comet. Yeah. No, that's a plane tour. My 7-year-old nephew thought it was. But we can see, I think that's Jupiter, Venus.
That was a UFO hot tour.
No, that's Jupiter.
You can see Jupiter and Venus for sure.
No, it doesn't work on your phone though. Should I take a picture of it?
This is pretty cool, man. It is worth the hype.
I'm taking a picture of that. No, Henry, it's scary. Come here.
You gotta experience it for yourself, folks. There's one in Egypt in 2027, almost guaranteed clear skies, and across the middle of Australia, which would be cool, in 2028.
Wait. Where's is mine?
Wow. Oh, now you can see all the other lights coming on, I think. Street lights.
Guys,
I'm gonna move away from my computer. I won't be able to hear myself, but here's the street lights.
Wait, also look at the horizon.
So weird. And in the distance, you can see light. You can almost see the path of the shadow because there's light on either side of us in the distance on the horizon. So we have about 1 more minute of totality. What do you think?
It's so cool.
My nephew Owen from Milwaukee.
Was it worth getting out of school today, guys?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Best field trip ever?
Yeah. Mom,
Pretty cool.
why is it?
Is that a drone up? People got drones up here recording this from an aerial perspective. Oh, now don't put your glasses back on, guys. Sun's coming back. Sun's coming back. Put your glasses on.
What the heck? It's just a little sliver.
I'm just going to leave the camera kind of pointed at you. The light is coming back fast.
Wow, you guys.
Whoa.
Look at. Put your glasses on. Cord, put your glasses on.
So now on the lower right corner of the sun, the light is reappearing. So weird. You literally cannot describe the eerie, and it feels cold.
Put your glasses
It's
on.
like 10 degrees colder now than it was.
Put your glasses on.
So I just checked the temperature of Terre Haute is 70. So remember I said it was 75 when the eclipse started, it dropped to full 5 degrees. And we can feel it. It is chilly now. So we have both street lights on at the same time, and then the reflection of the returning sunlight on people's windshields. So cool.
Is that cool? Yeah, high five.
Did anybody observe Dee Dee? What did she think the whole time? This is my dog, Dee Dee. We forgot to observe animal behavior. What do you think, Dee Dee? She's like, that's trippy. Pretty cool.
Wait, can I go on the swing and like put my glasses on?
Yeah.
I want to.
What's interesting?
You should have these glasses.
What's interesting
Yeah, they do.
And now there's already people are already trying to leave and beat the traffic.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, because for perspective, Chicago's only a few hours away from here.
Yeah.
So a lot of people from Chicago probably drove down, and they're going to try to drive back at the same time. So we're interested to see what the traffic's like. We're going to try to get back to Milwaukee to stay at my sister's tonight. It's probably going to take longer than the normal 4.5 hours. Just guessing. There's a bird. A hawk.
Imagine we got the bald eagle.
The flag stops.
So cool.
The flag stops then.
The flag stopped moving. Oh yeah, because it got cool. That flag was whipping earlier when it was 75 degrees. Probably can't see it from here, but it got totally eerily calm. There was no wind. There were no birds. The birds are like making a lot more noise now again. I don't know if you can hear it, but it was totally eerie calm during those 3 minutes for sure. There's a robin. Wow. Total eclipse of the Haute, 2024. We did it.
We did it.
So yeah, it's just going to gradually get brighter now. Yeah, we're back probably to that 3 or 5% of the sunlight back. But you can see what a difference just that little sliver of light makes. But it's still a weird, you can't describe this. It's not like like twilight or dawn. It's a different kind of dimming of the sun. Yeah. There are people already trying to pack up and go. Well, this place filled up when we got here, and we didn't get here that early. But there are a lot more cars now than when we initially got here. do you think? How
What
was
do you
it?
think? It's pretty awesome.
That was good.
Was it worth the drive?
Yeah.
Will you go try to see another one in the future? Go
Probably.
travel somewhere?
Yeah.
You don't want to be on TV.
Oh.
We're gonna switch cameras back to my MacBook.
Stat minutes ago. Yeah, we are now 7 minutes from the fourth contact, where or third contact, where Totality ended here in Terre Haute, Indiana, and it will continue on its way. And there won't be another eclipse shadow in the United States until August of 2044. So as I mentioned, you got to travel to Egypt or Australia, the 27 and 2028 respectively, some total solar eclipses. But yeah, this is it. Now it'll head to Maine, and it will end in Newfoundland late afternoon. I've got the timing of that here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, Newfoundland at 2:47 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, just another half hour or so. The whole eclipse will be done for everybody. Then it goes off into the Atlantic Ocean. Pretty cool. I think I'm going to sign off now, and we're going to try to hit that traffic, see if we can try to stay ahead of it. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Hopefully you saw at least some breaks in the clouds in Minnesota, or hopefully it got you excited to chase your own eclipse in the future. Again, you got to travel a little bit here if you want to see one in the next several years, but I would highly recommend it. Definitely worth it. Such a cool experience, really kind of indescribable, but to see the corona around the moon was really something. So enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and we'll see you back online in the next couple days.